this is done. Let's get this other motor out of here. Alright, I figured out the size on this motor. 212 nut. Motor mounts are out. I get this rear tire. This guy has this chain on here. It's so tight it's not even funny. I really doubt I'm going to use this again, but maybe. So this chain's done. Last thing holding it into a little 8mm bolt right here. And that's your ground. And that's the wire we're going to be using to make a handlebar switch for our new motor. Oh, we're going to put a new end on this guy. It's not even on then. Out you go. Done. Look at this guy. I use this for cutting. I use this for everything. It's good oil. Just give it a run around there. You don't really want to get it down in the actual hole. You want to get it around the edge so it can seep down in between the shaft and the outside. Don't get it down in the springs. There it is. Really, you just want to get that chain as straight as you can from there to there, looking down it. It's nice and lined up. So now, I'm going to scratch for marks. First, we're going to use a small bit to start the hole. We want to make sure we get these as close to where we can. Real close to being finished. So those fit. Let's check our measurement. There you go. 4 holes drilled. Oh. 1, And that's how you do it, my friends. Didn't even have to remeasure, and it's perfect. It's a 12. Just real quick, we're gonna go ahead and fix that bullshit. Okay, boom. New end. I'm taking one of these, putting it on there. That's all we really need. Just gotta ground it. That's the only pain in the butt part, is getting it to go through. There it goes. So boom, you got that. Crimp the ever-loving shit out of it. New ground. Remember that oil sensor that we took out? It's just one plug. This is your new interrupter instead of your oil sensor. Plug that in there. Then we're gonna take this, the ground. Remember how I said we left that nut loose underneath here? We're just gonna stick that on there. And then just run these in there. Bingo, keeps them out of the way. And then we can tighten this. Cool, so that takes off that. Now we're gonna go back to the chain side. Put your chain over top of it. That way you can kind of figure out what it's gonna do. And really you wanna have it as far back as possible. Looks like it's gonna be perfect. All right, we set our master link here earlier. Go ahead and take that. I'd say that's lined up very well. Tighten this up slightly. Pretty impressive. Now we need our pipe, we need our nut on the end of this. Next step, throttle. So, thought this was gonna happen. So my cable inside length is not long enough to get to here, right? So all we're gonna do is cut this sheath shorter, because I got plenty of line, see? Just gonna cut this shorter, take this end off really. Just cut it probably that much more. Boom, it'll work. So, set it up so you can watch me do that. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna do this. I gotta cut the little ball off the end, which we were gonna do anyway. So we're gonna snip that as clean as possible. Then we're gonna pull this out. So I'm taking this, sliding it out pretty far so I don't cut it. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna make sure I tape it to where it holds. That'll hold it. Won't let it slide out anymore. Now we're gonna take this in and just lop it off real quick. There you have it. So if you look at the end, it's a pretty flat cut. So it won't matter if we have that end crimp or not. We don't really need it. So now we're gonna untape this, push it back through. Should see it pop through the end. Bingo, so now see how much more we have to work with. Easy peasy. Got plenty to work with. This and an itty bitty baby screw goes through there, and the throttle goes through that. That hook's on the end. Boom. You know what? I'm gonna flip this the other way, just because it'll work better. Yes, and flip it. Bingo. Now comes the hard part. Getting this little tiny screw in here correctly. See how small that screw is? Yeah. And your throttle is complete. A few different styles to choose from. All different. So we're gonna put that on. Thinner grip. Alright, throw the air filter on, air that tire up, go look for a brake cable, then we're ripping it. Alright, got the tire aired up. I gotta sit at this stupid angle so I can put oil in it. And I also need to throw 2 self-tapping screws underneath it. The only seats you can get now for this thing are for Motovox or MB10, so Monster Motos. This is Motovox, same frame and everything, seat just mounts differently. These hook under though still, under that front clip, so we can still do that, but then we're gonna have to poke 2 new holes just to put our self-tapping screws through the back, and we'll be good. Our guy's bent a little, so we're gonna bend that back out. Go much more, it'll crease too much when you sit on it. That's about what we want. So now, we got our holes marked. Poke a hole so you guys can see. Poke a hole, poke a hole. They're identical. That's gonna mount right up in there. So let's get our little screws here started. This is the best way to do it that I've found. This, you know, and I've never had a seat come off doing it this way. And I think most people would approve. There you go. There's your seat. Alright, let's do the oil. I usually use 10W30, but we're just going to do 10W40. Same damn thing. Half a quart, half this bottle. That's all these motors need. So we gotta cut this guy on. You gotta cut this guy on down here as well. You got 2 kill switches, remember that. Give it a couple pulls. We're gonna start it on choke. You need to cut the gas on. Give it a couple. Alright, we're gonna start it on choke. See what happens. Just needed to adjust my idle screw in a little bit. It just wasn't in enough. That should kick right over now. There you have it. One day. I think that's pretty solid for one day. There you have it. All I gotta do is throw a clutch cover on it and a brake line. Day 2 of the one-day build. I finally got what I needed in sprocket cover, which you don't really need, but the brake line. I finally have a brake line we got to this point in one day. If I had a brake cable, we would have been done. If I had a clutch cover, we would have been done. So I'm gonna just show you guys finished product at least. I'm still calling it a one-day build because we literally did everything else, and this is gonna take me all of 2 minutes. Oh, end's too big. Well, we're gonna have to grind this down with the grinder real quick. Get the burrs off of this and round up a couple of the edges. So probably gonna run it through here like we did the other brake line, if this will reach. And it will. So that's where it ran back. We ran it underneath here. Okay. Now we just need a 10mm and start adjusting. Let's try that first. Still rolls easy. Okay, we want it a little bit tighter than that. I think that's it. This is the clutch cover I got. OMB Warehouse. It's actually a good little cover. Finished product.